with Antoine Walker. Klay Thompson is questionable for Wednesday's Game 3 with a strained hamstring, and Kevon Looney is likely done for the series and therefore the season with a chest fracture. And still no word on KD's status, and Game 3 is tomorrow night. All right, let's focus on Klay. Antoine, how would his absence change Golden State's offense?
It would hurt them tremendously because you got to think about the pressure that's going to be on Steph. To try to play through this gimmick defense, because I'm sure Toronto will come with the same type of gimmick defense, whether it's a boxing one, they will trap him. So it'll be much harder for Steph to create shots for himself. And then you put a lot of pressure on Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala to perform at a high level offensively. They have to be aggressive. Their shot attempts will have to go up. And then you actually got Quinn Cook, who's played very, very well in the 2 years he's been with Golden State in spot minutes, to play big minutes now. You get small in the backcourt. You force Steph Curry to have to play a little bit more defense now. You can't hide him as much on the defensive end now. He's going to have to guard those point guards while they're making plays. You can't really hide him. So it's going to be tough. It'll be a very tough game for Golden State to find scoring. And when have we ever said that about Golden State?
And that's why it's so tough, Antoine, because it's going to be tough for them to find scoring. And as you mentioned, their defense gets so much worse without Klay. The Quinn Cook, if people don't know who he is, he was with the Warriors. The idea is he's going to be a very poor man Steph Curry. An offense-only knockdown shooter that can move without the basketball. Now, that's not an insult to Steph Curry or Quinn Cook. Steph Curry, you mentioned one of the 5 greatest point guards ever. Quinn Cook's trying to find his way in this league. But I say that to say this. He is not a good defensive player. And one of them is going to have to guard Kyle Lowry if Klay's out.
One little correction about Quinn Cook. He's an on-the-ball defender. He can press you in the backcourt, be a nuisance on you getting the ball up the court. But once you get to that part, that's his #1 skill.
Other than three-point shooting, sure. But I think one of the reasons, I
just want to let people know as far as, because you'll see him in the backcourt pressing
pressure
people.
Guys 94 feet.
Yes.
But I think one of the reasons he's been able to do that when we've seen him is because if you're only going to be playing 8 to 12 minutes, then while you're out there, you go full exhaustion. If now all of a sudden you're starting, you're going to have to be running off these screens. You're going to then you can't. That's why you don't ask guys typically that are big parts of your team pressure guy 94 feet, because that is exhausting in the NBA. The Warriors have only played 8 games in the last 3 years where KD and Klay missed. They've won seemingly, amazingly, 3 of them. But those 3 came against the 2018 Phoenix Suns. The 2018 Phoenix Suns were so good, they got the #1 pick of the draft. The 2018 Atlanta Hawks, that team was so good, they got the #3 pick of the draft. And last year's New Orleans Pelicans, at the end of the season, after Anthony Davis had been not shut down entirely, but they were using him very sparingly. Like, they don't have experience beating anyone of relevance. Not that they have much experience at all playing without these 2 guys. I just don't think they can create enough offense if Klay and KD are out. Vegas clearly thinks one of them's playing. Vegas has the Warriors as 6-point favorites. That would be a bananas line if both these guys miss.
But even if Klay plays, you're not getting 100% of Klay, and you're not getting all the minutes. And if KD plays, you're not getting, even if you did get 80% of KD, you're certainly not getting all the minutes. So in some capacity, their offense is going to be hampered.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a lot of pressure on Steph. I think you made a great point as far as Iggy and Draymond. They have to get in the mix. We saw once KD got hurt, Draymond initially, he knew, I have to play different. He talked about it. Our style's going to be different. And now with Klay, they're going to have to make another adjustment. But if I'm Nick Nurse, I like Danny Green. Like him, respect him and everything, but he's getting ready to play less minutes. I'm getting ready to go huge, man. I'm getting ready to have Kyle Lowry play the point. I'm putting Kawhi at the 2. All right? Siakam at the 3. Serge Ibaka at the 4, Marc Gasol at the 5, and I'm getting ready to pound Golden State. If they decide to put that lineup in there, you put Quinn Cook in there. Now, because he's an actual 5'10", Nick, not like me playing with your height, all right? Like he is not a big guy. Steph's not a physical guy. You know that they're going to play bigger in Golden State because all they got is Bogut and Boogie. They're not going to play Looney. They're not going to play small. They're not going to play Jordan Bell. So if I'm Nick Nurse, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting ready to pound Golden State with that big lineup and put that pressure on their backcourt.
Because they become much easier to guard, obviously, when Klay out the lineup. So you can do that and play a bigger lineup and still be able to rotate and get to your spots. I think it still will be for the Raptors offensively where they're going to find the scoring and take advantage of these mismatches, because now you got to take advantage. Because now you forcing Boogie's going to have to be a little bit more active on the offensive end. I don't know if Boogie's still quite there yet to get in the post and score in the block.
Right.
Yet. He's not there yet.
That's probably the last part of your game that will come.
And Steve Kerr will probably go with Sean Livingston a little bit more, but that's actually works in Toronto's favor to me, having Sean Livingston on the floor, because he's not the same offensive player he was a couple years ago.
And he will never shoot a three. I mean, he and Ben Simmons almost identical three-point attempts.
Right.
Like, he will never shoot a three.
And they threw him the ball late in the game, 15 seconds, ball touched his hand, he got it.
Right. He doesn't want to, he didn't want to go to the line there, and he's not going to shoot threes. Let's just for a moment here, because I don't think Golden State can win if Klay's out. If he's limited, I think they can win because he at least adds spacing. Even if he's not 100%, you have to respect him. You're going to have to guard Klay Thompson's shot till the day he retires. But you mentioned the box and one. Obviously, the Warriors will watch film. They will find ways to attack it. But until the Warriors show they can beat it, even when Klay plays, there's 16 minutes a game that either Steph or Klay are on the court by themselves without the other guy. Final 4 minutes of the first 4 minutes of the second, there's an 8-minute stretch when Klay gets his rest and Steph gets his rest, and the same thing third to fourth quarter. If you're Toronto, don't you unveil that as soon as one of those guys goes out and see if they can figure it out? Like, see if they have figured out a way to attack that box and one?
Oh, without question. You got to, this is a must. For Toronto, unfortunately, you hate to say that in the third game of a series, but regardless if they're healthy or not, this is a must-win situation. You have to leave this game with a win. You have to put out all the stops, do whatever it takes to get this win. You cannot let a 75% Golden State team win a game on you.
Yeah, you don't deserve to win the championship.
You have to make them beat you. You can't beat yourself. They're going to have to come out and with the right energy, the right focus, understand mismatches. We talked about it earlier about Kawhi. How can Kawhi help his team out? We got to find the mismatches because it's going to be a lot now. Because with Klay out there, you're taking a huge defensive piece away. Obviously, we know Kevin's not being out there as a big defensive player. But Iggy's still hurt. You know, he's not 100%. You can attack him, obviously. And Boogie's not 100%. You can attack him. They got to take advantage of those mismatches.
One thing Golden State needs to remember, in securing the Bucks series, what did Toronto do? They went to a janky defense. They played the 3-2 zone. All right, and the only difference in the 3-2 zone and what they're playing now is the guy doesn't stay at the top because he's roaming with Steph. But they're still playing the 2-2 zone that they played against Milwaukee. So I expect to see a lot of that in game number 3, as you mentioned, must win for the Raptors.
All right, Twan, stick around. Coming up, is Steph's legacy in question heading into game 3 of the finals? Next on First Things First.
Not if Iggy got something to do with it, right?